Hello everyone, Strikoder here and welcome back to a new episode of not the OSCP journey this time, but we are solving a Sherlock, which is similar to HackTheBox machines, but for the blue team. Today's gonna be an easy Sherlock, so let's get started. First of all, let me download the files, download the zip, or actually let me copy the URL and try to download that in here. So I don't think that's gonna work since we have an API. So let me do it like that. Do we have that downloaded? Yep. So I'm gonna copy the URL from here and try like this. And we still have the same issue. I'm going to remove this. So that's better. I'm gonna pause a little bit. Now it's finished. Let me check. We have this long zip with that name, so we could have used -o, I believe, with wget, but that's okay. So I'm going to move this to meerkat.zip and move meerkat.zip into root to delete, where I usually do my stuff. And in here, I'm gonna unzip that -r, I believe, for the password. And I believe the password from here. Hack the blue, Meerkat cat.zip. Nah, that's not for the password. Actually, I forgot, so let me do it like this. And I'm gonna paste the password in here. We have pcap and JSON. Alright, so first of all, let me try to cat the JSON. And as you can see, so JSON usually is meant for the human to read these variables, but with cat we cannot do that, so we can use JQ. It's available, I believe, by default on Kali Linux, but you can try sudo apt install, I believe, JQ. I'm not sure, you can Google that. So let's try using JQ on our file. So we can start with JQ-R for, or let me start from the beginning by, I wonder why we cannot JQ Meerkat. Okay, tab completion is not working. So let me move meerkat.alerts into Meer and JQ Meer. Okay, moving Meer into Meer.json and JQ Meer.json. I still have an issue. So maybe I would type what do I need to filter, then the file itself. So JQ, let's start by brackets and mir.json. Now it's gonna work. Okay, let's try without the brackets, with only point, and see. So as you can see, there are a lot of data. Let me go up to the JQ command, or to be more precise, JQ dot. And here we are. We see we started with open brackets and we finish by a closed bracket. So that's why we type dot brackets to get into the brackets and the name of the file. So after that, we need to, I believe, check the data. Let me go up again. So JQ dot into here, and we see TS mentioning the time, event type alert, source IP, source port, destination port, maybe the protocol as well, TCP, the signature. That's good. We can do we need to sort by signature. So we can start by showing the JSON file, then the bcap file, and then start solving the questions. I'm just going to take a general look. So we have GID, metadata. Okay, because it's an HTTP request. The community ID. So let me check. So do we have reverse shell or anything like that? No. Do we have a flag? Nope. That's what you usually search for on an extremely easy CTFs. Do we have what else? I believe. Oops. Let's start SSH. Nope. Do we have exploit? Yeah, we have exploit. So this signature, exploit BonitaSoft, successful. Okay. Login attempt, staging for CVE. We can search for CVE as well. So maybe there are more than one CVE. This one, 2022, 25237. I believe they are all the same, mentioning the same CVE. We can search for a login attempt. I would like to start again from the bottom. Login. Wait, what? Maybe like this. Okay. So we see login attempt M1. Maybe that's gonna be a password spraying or credential stuffing or maybe brute forcing. So I'm now going up and trying to see the IB if only one IB is responsible for that. And what can we do as well? Let's try the exploit again. So, okay, exploit like this, and we see BonitaSoft. Let's try to search Bonita, maybe like this. And we see BonitaSoft in here. So it's mentioned with the same source IB. I see some IBs are different. Maybe there were a little successful stuff. Let me search for .com. It's referring to the community ID, maybe .net. What do we have as well? .org. Nope. So that's what I usually do for an easy CTF. I would search for the link if it's provided in here. Maybe .io. I don't think so. All right. So that's for the most part, just we are searching through that. I mean, we can try JQ again this and try to do that based on source IB. So let me make this dot source IB. I believe it was small letters, and we see a lot of stuff. So -r for row, instead of being by double quotations, we can use -r, and we have grabbable values where we can do sort, not snort, but sort. And we see we have nulls. Okay, we can try -nr for enumerating number. Not right now. I believe we need the unique ones. No, it's better. -c. Is it small or capital? Yeah. Is it small? To type the number of concurrence for each IB. Then we can sort again, but upside down. And we have these results. So we have the IB is written or has tried maybe an HTTP request 183 times. I confused that with German because you start the otherwise. 36, 11, all right. So where have we find Bonita? We have that in the signature. Maybe we can try signature. We have only nulls. Why is that? So it's inside alert. So it's gonna be alert dot signature dot alert dot signature. And now we can see possible staging for CVE, possible staging for CVE. However, here we see login attempt M1. I wonder what does that mean. Bypass over here we see. And here we see login attempt without M1. And here we see RCA upload. They are all of the same CVE. Let me take a look on the CVE. Und akzeptieren and all right, we see Rhino Security Labs. Let's check this. Shout out to Tyler Ramsey. He used to work with them at Rhino Labs. I believe that was the first time hearing about them. Now it's probably, I mean for sure not the second time because they have a lot of CVEs. However, we see here a web request is being altered and we see a possible Etsy password. Do we have an Etsy password over here? So I'm searching in this. Yeah, we have. Okay. Do I have Wireshark in here? Wireshark, not Wireshark. Yeah, I do. So I'm gonna launch that, but not like this. All right. Or you know what? I'm going to open a new tab, cd into here, Wireshark, and open this. Let me send this into third one. So I'm pressing Windows and the number of the panel to go over there, or window, and then Control Windows key the number of the window to send the window to there. So over here we have Etsy password, and here is the conclusion. Okay. I'm not going into the details of this vulnerability, but that's okay. So now we have a general idea. Now let's go and start with the tasks. We believe our business management platform. Do we have any business in here? There is no word business. Let me actually read the scenario. As a fast-growing startup, the company has been utilizing a business management platform. I haven't seen a word business or anything related to that. Unfortunately, our documentation is scarce and our administrators aren't more security aware. As our new security provider, we would like you to have a look at some PCAP and log data we have exported to confirm if we have or have not been compromised. Probably you have already. We believe our business management platform's server has been compromised. Please, can you confirm the name of the application running? Okay. So the name of the application running. Are we talking here about the MySQL? No. Maybe BonitaSoft. It would be the app. Oops. Yeah, that's correct. We believe the attacker may have used a subset of the brute forcing attack category. What is the name of the attack carried out? So I believe we need to inspect Wireshark for that. But let me check over here and store some stuff. So alerts is gonna be, I'm going to save that as signs.txt. I'm going to save the IPs. I believe it was source IP. No, not that. I need that into signs. And this before saving that. I mean, we can get back a little bit in, yeah, like this. And I'm going to save into the IPs.txt. Now we have two files. What do we have as well? Are there any interesting field that we might be interested of? We can save severity and check the highest source port. Let me check the source port. So there are dozens of ports used. Okay. What do we have as well? Let me go up. Flow ID, PCAP, signature ID, action. We can save by action as well. Protocol. Actually, let me check the protocols. Like this. Yep. So we have TCPs and one UDP. Maybe I would take a look at the UDP. What was that? So it's an SNMP with an alert, public access, attempted information leak. I don't think that's related. So mostly we would need the IPs and the signs. And now let's go to the Wireshark. So in Wireshark, we have a lot of stuff. We have the ICMPs, TCPs. Let me, by protocol, we have SSH. That's interesting. And let's see. Okay, nothing looks suspicious yet to me because I know nothing. Let's stick to the HTTP. And oops, since the RCE or the CVE is connected to the, and we can search filter by Bonita. Let me check. Here we can filter by the source port. Let's filter by this. Apply as filter. I cannot filter. Okay, that's strange. Let me start Wireshark differently. Go to the root. I don't have access. I mean, I'm using sudo. Let me start again by the HTTP. Yeah, I believe that's better. Now I can do that. So we need to search for the Bonita. Let me. So we have this Bonita. And let me zoom out a bit. Not in here. So apply as a filter. That's strange. I usually would apply that as a filter. Maybe we couldn't by the main post, but we can by the request URI. Yeah, that's it. We can select this as a filter, and we have all of these. Maybe we can filter by the protocol as well, but that's okay for now. Let's take a look. We see a lot of 401s. Do we see? Maybe let me filter by the 401 or by the response. Maybe let's filter not 401. Oh, okay. Now it's not filtering by the response. Let me like this and not like 401. Now we see all the response that has at least 200. We see 204 with Bonita. Okay. So let's go to the second question. We believe the attacker may have used a subset of brute forcing category. What is the name of the carried attack? Let's try to filter by the IB maybe and see if that's a credential stuffing or brute forcing or whatsoever. I'm gonna move this into here, move this and get the IBs. So we see this IB. I'm going to here, let me move this into there and this into here. Okay, so maybe now we can ib.address, but instead of this IB, I'm going to use this IP and see. Maybe now we need to select HTTP as a filter. Copy or apply as a filter and selected. So now we have both of them. Okay. So let me try maybe resize columns. That's better. Now I can see the number of the packets. And let me start from the beginning. Up, way up. Here we see 302, 302. This is the first 401 that we have. Redirection probably that was successful, and let's check this. We have a post into this. All right. Let me actually follow HTTP stream and see the whole stuff. We see a login service. We see the host, user agent. We see install and password. Okay. Find next. Okay, that's it. Let me follow again. Follow the next one. We see here a username and a password. We can save them. notes.txt. I would save this. Okay, I believe that's it. I don't think that's a brute force attack. Let me check. So let's not for the stream. We have this. We followed that. And we got the password. We have this. Okay. Okay. That's okay. Let's check the next IP maybe. And we see here a lot of stuff. And right there we see a post request. Maybe let's apply that. Or maybe with the IP, I'm gonna get the IP address. The last one. Press enter without this. And then apply as a filter and select it. And we see here an HTTP request with where is the response? Am I blind? Let me follow that. So we see 401, 204. Let's check. Username subroom. I'm gonna have we maybe that clerk was not 204. I haven't checked the HTTP. Okay. What can we do as well? I mean, yeah. So based on what do we have? A subset of brute forcing attack category. What is the name of the attack carried out? It's either credential stuffing or yeah, I was right. Okay, does the vulnerability exploited have a CVE assigned? Yes, that's why I left this CVE. And let me go into here. Which string was appended to the API URL to bypass the authorization filter? I believe I've seen the word bypass. It's in here, so BonitaSoft, maybe we can find that in here. You have bypass, yep. So the filters defined in the web can often be fruitful as they can determine what should or should not be filtered. The following authorization I18 N translation. That's great. How did they discover this? How did they discover this variability? Oh my gosh. REST API authorization. Okay, we can try and submit that. Oops. Yeah, that's correct. And how many combinations of usernames and password did they use? Let me check again. In the credential stuffing attack. So in this case, we can try to filter by http.request. Maybe I believe .method. I want post. Not like this. Maybe .method equals post. No, I was wrong. HTTP dot it should be dot request, not dot response. Dot method equals post. Now we need probably to filter based on the URI and selected. Let's see. No, but I believe that's the number of the packet. Can we control C that and save them into here? Packet.text, maybe like this. Yeah, we can. Or no, we cannot because... No. Not like this. Oops. I want to exit. Ah, okay. Maybe we can export that. Save as. I mean, we can save that as bcap next generation ng, and it's gonna be packets. Save that. Cat packets xg and gg. I believe we can use tcp dump. I believe dash help. So we can provide the file through r-r for our next generation packet. Let's actually see. That's a little better, but not like this. Let me stop that. Maybe with, let me check dash help again. Man, TCP dump. Maybe that's what I was looking for in ASCII, handy for capturing web pages. Let's try that. Dash A. Yeah, I've seen that. Yep. So now we can try and grab the username. I believe it's gonna be dash I. For ignore casing, and it's reading that. We see a lot of usernames, but it's taking time, so let me save maybe T into users.text. Have I used T correctly? Yeah, I have. So T actually it saves the information into the file and prints them simultaneously. So when we cat this, we have all of these with us. Let me get this and try to cut maybe dash D, but not based on the column, but actually based on the equals, and dash F maybe 1. No, we don't need the before the username, we need the after. That's a little bit better. Let's try to sort that. We have dozens of install and password. Let me try to use unique dash C. So we have dozens of install password. We don't need that. Let's try and grab the username, since we have it like this. Maybe we can try and remove M username as well, but I'm not sure yet. Let's do this. What do we have as well? We can maybe cut before the sign and the percent dash F1. I believe that's it, right? Maybe now we can count how many lines we have. We have 56. But we have M user, maybe 55, I would type. Maybe 57 with the M user and username. Maybe then 56. Yes, we have 56, and these are all the users. So actually we have counted Insta and password as a user. Okay, that's strange, I mean. Which username and password combination was successful? That's why I left the notes. So I'm not sure if that was it. How do we username? Okay, password. So I'm looking. This is the password that we need. Oops, that's wrong. Maybe if not this, then I need to search. But I can recall we have seen the 200 code in here. So it should be this one. The password is government. Okay. That's strange. Let me then try to search in here. So we need to filter based on the let me follow this HTTP. Not the frame transmission. Nope. So it's gonna be a post request in the host. We need to filter based on the response. And HTTP dot response code equals 200, maybe 201, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Maybe I'm gonna remove this. I mean, that's better. Let's follow the HTTP. and follow this. Maybe this should be sep.pro government. Like this, maybe. Username, password. Maybe only sep.pro. Still incorrect. Let me go back to here. So I actually forgot how to change this to get back into the original one. We were http://response.code equals 200, right? Equals. So I'm checking the for request URI. What do we have here? Page upload. I mean, that's interesting as well. We see it's the password. So I'm gonna leave this for now. So now we have dozens of stuff to follow. Actually, it's the same thing. So I could almost swear this should be. Maybe I need to... Alright, so they don't need in the URL format, in the URL encoded. You need to decode that. So -40 would be at, -20 would be space, and so on. And let's go to the same question. If any, which text sharing site did the attacker utilize? Do we have anything related to .com? Company.com? No. .net? Maybe bone.io? Nothing like that. I mean, here we see the page uploading malicious stuff. We see the 18 translation. And we see Etsy password. Okay, so let's get back into here. And let's try again HTTP response code 200. Let me follow this. We see an RCE API zip code, which probably be executing a code. Executing who am I. And that's it. Let me check the next one. I mean, I'm extremely noob with the Wireshark, so if you know any way to navigate that better, let me know. .zip again. Am I navigating the same one? Probably, yeah. Maybe it's not about the HTTP Maybe it's about the post. Let me get back HTTP response code 200. So maybe it's not about the 200. I see the translation over here, the CMD. So here is a CMD bash. Here is wget. We are downloading from a site called paste.io. Maybe that's the answer. Yeah, that's the answer. Please provide the full file name, public key by attacker to gain persistence on that host. Let me check. So probably we need to track this. Follow. Or maybe we need to get into that link. Actually, online web browser. I'm gonna try to search to access that link and see what we can do. Can I do online without sign in? Maybe browser link or start page. So browser link I would usually use. Yeah, okay. Test now. My turn. And here we are. So raw and this. Let me copy this. Please provide the file name of the public key. Maybe this. Yes. Can you confirm the file modified by the attacker to gain persistence? And we see underscore maybe SSH authorized keys. Okay. So I'm gonna copy this. I mean, that's not extremely good because I'm doing that on the VM. Home Ubuntu SSH authorized underscore keys. And can you confirm the meter technique of ID? Meter ID authorized keys SSH. Maybe this. No. Let me get back. Persistence. Maybe this. Yep. So okay, that was it. Thank you guys for watching. Please make sure to like, share, leave a comment and subscribe, and see you next episode.